Welcome to Live Interactive English. Hello, everyone. I'm Mike.
And I'm Sam.
And today, Sam, we are going on a trip.
Yay.
Are you excited?
Yes, I love traveling around everywhere.
The good thing is that this trip is very close to where we are. We don't even need our passports to go on this trip, but we will also still be visiting a wonderful ocean wonderland on one of Taiwan's amazing and beautiful islands.
Ooh, that sounds like...
How many of the islands of Taiwan have you been to?
One.
One. Penghu.
Yep.
I was gonna guess Penghu. Okay. I've only been to Penghu and Green Island.
Ooh.
Those are the two that I've been to. Never been to Orchid Island or Lanyu. But we're not going to one of those. This one is even easier to get to. We're going to be spending 2 great days on Little Liuqiu.
Ooh, okay.
Or Xiao Liuqiu, as a lot of people call it.
I haven't even heard of this island before.
Haven't? Oh,
no.
It's wonderful. And the good news is it's very close to Kaohsiung.
Ah, yes. Okay. So you don't need to take an airplane or a big boat or any of that kind of stuff?
Not a big boat either, just a short ferry ride to get there. But once you do get there, you won't feel like you're near a big city. You will feel like you're in a tropical ocean wonderland with wonderful beaches and snorkeling and all sorts of great stuff. So the cool thing is also, the article is written by a person on a trip, so we will be following along on their journey. Sounds pretty good, right?
Yes, that sounds perfect. And it sounds perfect for me since I know nothing about this island. And now I can learn about it and maybe plan a trip to go visit in the future.
Exactly right. The beginning of the summer, you have many more months of wonderful weather to visit Little Liuqiu. So let's do that right now. Located around 14 kilometers off the coast of Pingdong County, Little Liuqiu is perhaps the easiest of Taiwan's offshore islands to visit. This is exactly what my wife and I did last summer when having a short break in Kaohsiung. We hopped on a boat at Donggang Ferryboat Wharf, and just 25 minutes later we stepped onto Little Liuqiu. When we arrived, we rented a scooter and checked into our hotel. The port of Baishaowei, where the boat arrived, is the main population center on Little Liuqiu. So we picked up drinks and snacks there before setting off to explore the island. All right, so yes, 2 great days on Little Liuqiu, 48 hours in this wonderful place. Let's find out all about it by following along on the holiday that the writer of our article took there not long ago. It begins. Located around 14 kilometers off the coast of Pingdong County, Little Liuqiu is perhaps the easiest of Taiwan's offshore islands to visit. Okay, yeah, I can see how that would be. You usually have to fly to Penghu. You can take a boat. Many people fly. The boat trip to Green Island is famous for sometimes making people feel a little sick. And it takes, what, an hour and a half or something like this. So a very short ferry ride, just 14 kilometers. That does sound pretty easy. Now, what is a kilometer? This is a word we often use. A kilometer is a measure of distance. So kilometers are things we'll use when we're talking about journeys, traveling, going places, or how far away something is. A kilometer is about 1,000 of these, which is a meter. Kilo, meaning 1,000 meters, a kilometer. Some people say kilometer. That's okay. 5 kilometers or 5 kilometers. And I think people usually walk around 3 kilometers or an hour. 3 to 5 kilometers an hour, something like that. So it's not too far, but of course, if you're taking a journey of many, many kilometers, you would want to be in a car or even in an airplane. For example, the border between the US and Mexico is over 3,000 kilometers long.
Yeah,
that's very long.
That is very long. And in the US, we use miles. And so even to this day, having lived in Taiwan this long, I still get confused about how far is actually a kilometer.
Right,
so
exactly.
that is kind of an interesting thing that different areas of the world might use different measurements. But mostly it's the U.S. that uses different measurements, and everyone else kind of uses the same.
I think even the U.S. Army uses kilometers.
Yes, they do.
But if you're driving in America, you're right, the signs will be in miles. I think a mile is what, like 2 kilometers, 2.2, something like that?
It's 5,280 feet, though.
Okay.
That I do know.
There we go. All right, let's get back to the article.
Okay, so we continue on this little vacation, and as we read from the writer, it says, "This is exactly what my wife and I did last summer when having a short break in Kaohsiung." Okay, so this couple is having a vacation. They went in the summer, and now we know, if you didn't know before, we know that Little Liuqiu is close to Kaohsiung.
Yeah, we would say that Kaohsiung is a good starting off or jumping off point for your trip to Little Liuqiu. All right, what did we learn next? We hopped on a boat at Donggang Ferry Boat Wharf, and just 25 minutes later, we stepped onto Little Liuqiu. So there you go, 25 minutes, less than half an hour to get from Kaohsiung to Little Liuqiu, or to get from Donggang Ferry Boat Wharf to Little Liuqiu. That is a very quick trip.
Yes, and so that makes it kind of nice, because then you can visit Kaohsiung and kind of do stuff around there. There's lots to do there, and then still have a couple days on the island, and then come back and finish whatever you're going to do. So quite nice. And as we see, it says, "When we arrived, we rented a scooter and checked into our hotel." All right, so even though it's not that far away from Kaohsiung, it also must be big enough at least to have a hotel. So it's kind of cool. You can have a decent-sized island without having to travel too far.
Very true, and big enough that you would want to maybe have a scooter to drive around and get yourself to different places on Little Liuqiu. Well, if you do visit, you will start probably in one place. The port of Baishaowei, where the boat arrived, is the main population center on Little Liuqiu. Okay, so it's not just the port or where the boats will come and stop and unload people and other things. It's also the main population center. This gives us the idea it's the biggest town on Little Liuqiu, so quite possibly if you stay in a hotel, you will also be staying in that place.
And so then it says, "So we picked up drinks and snacks there before setting off to explore the island." Here we see that, okay, they might know that this is the kind of populated area, and they're not so sure what else is on the rest of the island, so they better stock up first, get some drinks, get some snacks, so that the rest of the ride, they don't have to worry about that, and they can just explore without having to think, where am I going to eat next, or what am I going to eat next? And so we have this word explore, and explore is a verb, and it just means to go to places and look around and things that you haven't done before. It's like, this area I haven't been to before, so I'm going to go there and I'm going to explore. I'm going to see what is there to see, maybe explore the wildlife in the nature, or I'm going to explore the city and find good places to eat. So you're just going to look around and check out things that you might not have seen before. And our example sentence says, "I quickly left the hotel so I could explore the local area." Lots of people who travel try to spend as little time as possible in the hotel because they want to use all their time exploring the new place that they are visiting.
For sure. Check into the hotel, drop your bags in your room, and then get right back out there and start looking around or exploring. Let's take a break, and then we'll be back to explore Little Liuqiu.
Hello， 大家好，我是 Hanny。这2天的课程中，我们要跟着作者来一趟小琉球2日游。小琉球位于屏东县外海大约14公里处，可能是台湾最容易到访的离岛了。那么作者就提到，这正是他和他太太去年夏天在高雄短暂休假时所做的事。他们在东港渡轮码头搭船，25分钟后就踏上了小琉球。那抵达之后，他们就有租摩托车办理饭店入住。而在开始探索这个岛之前，他们先去白沙湾港买零食和饮料，那边是小琉球的主要人口中心。这时候 Sam 老师他用到 populated 这个形容词 P-O-P-U-L-A-T-E-D populated 可以形容是有人居住的。再看到单字 kilometer 或是念作 kilometer kilometer， 它表示公里。这个字首 KILO， 它表示千，一千的那个意思。再看到 explore 这个动词，它有探索或是探险的意思。这边2个重点，我们进入文法时间。我们来看第一个重点是 this is 或者是 that is 加 WH 疑问词加主词加动词，这样的结构表示这就是或是那就是什么什么的原因、地点、时间、方式或是内容。WH 疑问词在这边它是引导名词子句，然后接在 be 动词后面来当主词补语用。我们这边看2个例句 ，This is how we met 表示这就是我们相遇的方式。That's why he left。那就是他离开的原因。好，那第2个重点，片语动词 pick up 常常做及物用，那它的受词是代名词的话，要摆在 pick 和 up 之间。我们以下介绍几个常见的意思。首先，第一个意思是表达拿取或是购买某物，例如 I'll pick up some snacks on my way home。我会在回家的路上买一些零食。第2个意思是表达接送某人，像 Michelle picks up her daughter from school at 4 p.m. Michelle 下午4点接女儿放学。第3个意思是表达学会，像是学会某个技能、语言等等，这通常是指非刻意、无意中学到的。例如 He picked up some slang from his teammates。他从队友那边学到了一些俚语。好，那接回到课文中。
The rest of Little Liuqiu is mostly unspoiled and natural. We soon found ourselves on one of the many lovely beaches dotted along the coast, so we jumped into the water. Turtles and many species of colorful fish swam around us as we snorkeled. It was great fun. Later, as night approached, we went to Sunset Pavilion at the southwest tip of the island to watch the sun slide below the horizon and the stars come out. It was a perfect end to our first day on Little Liuqiu. All right, so we are exploring Little Liuqiu along with the author of our article, his wife, and their trusty rented scooter that will be getting them around. So let's find out what they see as they get around Little Liuqiu Island. It says, the rest of Little Liuqiu is mostly unspoiled and natural. Well, that sounds lovely.
Yes, it does.
Especially getting away from the busy population center of Baishaowei where they arrived. Now going to the other parts of Little Liuqiu, they're seeing a lot of nature and not a lot of buildings, not a lot of people, not a lot of stuff that has been added there. It's all very natural and unspoiled. When we say an area is unspoiled, it's kind of like saying it's very natural. It hasn't been changed or altered or had things built on it by people. It is untouched by the hand of man, and it is as God created it, would be a kind of another way of explaining it. If you go to a natural park, a national park, a beautiful scenic area, it's probably unspoiled, or it might be spoiled by a power station or some electrical lines going across. But no, if you go somewhere and it looks the same as it looked millions of years ago before people came along, you could definitely describe it as unspoiled. For example, the hike took me through areas of unspoiled natural beauty. I could have been walking around in this area hundreds of years ago before human civilization ever arrived.
Yes, so it's kind of nice that there is that whole section of the island that looks just
absolutely
perfectly great and wonderful.
I think maybe it is kind of a national park. Often they have laws that say you can't build things in places like this to keep them so lovely and unspoiled.
Yes, and so if we go back to our article, it says, we soon found ourselves on one of the many lovely beaches dotted along the coast, so we jumped into the water. So here we see that there are lots and lots of beaches on this island. It says there's a whole bunch, many dotted all along the coast, and they clearly are open to swimming and all snorkeling and all that kind of fun stuff. So our couple is getting right into the water and going to explore what they can find.
There you go. With these beaches dotted or kind of scattered or spread around the island, there might be a good chance you could have your own kind of private beach, or at least be somewhere where others are quite far away. You would feel sort of very alone and peaceful there. That would be great. And once you start to get into the water, you won't be alone. It says turtles and many species of colorful fish swam around us as we snorkeled. It was great fun. Ooh, this also sounds very unspoiled. Places where you'll see lovely turtles, colorful tropical fish. Maybe there's a reef there with some colorful coral as well. And I'm sure the water is very clear and very clean, so it's great. And those colorful fish would be a wonderful thing to see, sort of dashing and darting around the reefs and corals.
Yes, and we have this word colorful, and this one I think is one of those words that if you look at it, you kind of can get the meaning pretty easily. It's full of color. So if something is colorful, it either has many colors or it's bright and it's got kind of stands out. So if you go to a reef and it's very colorful, the nice thing about that, it means that the coral is all still alive. If you go to a reef that looks kind of, dark and maybe not so colorful, then you might be looking more at one that has kind of maybe been damaged over time. So seeing colorful reefs and colorful fish and all that kind of stuff is great when you're on vacation to somewhere where you're snorkeling, because that's the best part of snorkeling.
Absolutely.
And as we see in our example sentence, it says on both sides of the street there are colorful buildings. So maybe they're all painted in bright colors, or they have funny roofs or anything like that. So we'll see just in some way they are colorful, not just gray, boring buildings.
That sounds great.
Yes, and if we go back to our article, it says, later, as night approached, we went to Sunset Pavilion at the southwest tip of the island to watch the sun slide below the horizon and the stars come out.
That sounds great. So you're going there to look at the sunset, and of course, as the sun sets, or as it said in the article, as the sun slides below the horizon, you're looking at that point way out in the distance where it looks like the ocean or the land meets the sky. That's the horizon, all right? So if you're kind of standing in the middle of the city, it might be hard to see the horizon because there's lots of big buildings around you. But maybe if you go to the top of a tall building, the top of a hill or a mountain, or from an airplane, wow, the horizon stretches from one side to the other. That's all you can see if you're very high up, the land or the ocean down here, and the sky, and way far away where they seem to meet, that's the horizon. And of course, the sun will rise over the horizon in the morning and set over the horizon in the evening. For example, we could see mountains and forests on the horizon. Those must have been very far away. So seeing this sunset from Sunset Pavilion as the sun goes down there in the west, the writer tells us, it was a perfect end to our first day on Little Liuqiu. It really sounds like a wonderful way to end the beginning, just the beginning of their journey.
Yes, and it sounds like they picked a perfect spot to watch the sunset and a perfect name for that spot. I'm sure that was on purpose because you must have a great view of the sunset.
Absolutely. It'd be nice if you could be up there and not have it be too crowded too, but I'm not sure they would be that lucky. Everyone wants to see a beautiful sunset. I wonder if they have a sunrise pavilion on the east side of the island. Might be something to check out. All right, guys, that's all for today, but we're going to have more from Little Liuqiu, so please come back and join us for that then. Bye-bye.
小琉球的其他地方大多维持着自然风貌，没有受到破坏。那么作者他们就来到一个美丽的海滩浮潜，看到海龟，还有看到很多种色彩缤纷的鱼在他们周围游来游去，他们觉得非常有趣。Mike 老师这时候有提到 coral，C-O-R-A-L，coral 就是珊瑚，还有提到 reef。R-E-E-F， 它表示礁、暗礁或者是礁脉。那么 coral reef 就可以表达珊瑚礁的意思。老师还有描述鱼群在周围冲来冲去的那个画面。老师用到两个动词 dash。D-A-S-H 还有 dart dart。那这两个动词都有猛冲啊，或者是急奔的意思。好，再看到单字 unspoiled，unspoiled 它是形容未受破坏的。老师在解释时提到这个字是指没有经过改变啊，或是没有被建设过。那么 alter 这个字 alter alter 就可以表达改变、变更或是更改，是个动词。下一个单字 colorful， colorful 是形容色彩缤纷的、丰富多彩的。好，那到了傍晚，作者他们就来到岛屿西南角的落日亭，观看夕阳沉入地平线，那也看到星星出来了。他们第一天的小琉球行就这样完美结束了。好，那单字 horizon 就表示地平线。这边有一个重点，我们要进入文法时间。我们来介绍感官动词。感官动词是指看、听、闻、感觉之类的动词，包括 watch、see、look at、listen to、hear、smell、feel 等等。那看看常见的用法。首先，第一种是用感官动词加受词加原形动词，那就是表示事实或过程。第二个句型是感官动词加受词加现在分词 VING， 那就是强调动作正在进行或持续。我们这边就看两个例句。Carol watched her son play soccer. Carol 看着他儿子踢足球。Carol watched a dog chasing its tail. Carol 看到一只狗正追着自己的尾巴。好，那么以上今天的讲解，同学别走开，马上回来哦。
Located around 14 kilometers off the coast of Pingdong County, Little Liuqiu is perhaps the easiest of Taiwan's offshore islands to visit. This is exactly what my wife and I did last summer when having a short break in Kaohsiung. We hopped on a boat at Donggang Ferryboat Wharf, and just 25 minutes later we stepped onto Little Liuqiu. When we arrived, we rented a scooter and checked into our hotel. The port of Baishaowei, where the boat arrived, is the main population center on Little Liuqiu. So we picked up drinks and snacks there before setting off to explore the island. The rest of Little Liuqiu is mostly unspoiled and natural. We soon found ourselves on one of the many lovely beaches dotted along the coast, so we jumped into the water. Turtles and many species of colorful fish swam around us as we snorkeled. It was great fun. Later, as night approached, we went to Sunset Pavilion at the southwest tip of the island to watch the sun slide below the horizon and the stars come out. It was a perfect end to our first day on Little Liuqiu.
Oh, I'm so excited for Mia's surprise party.
Yes, but we have to make sure that no one spills the beans before Saturday.
Spill the beans? Are we serving beans at the party?
No, it just means that we have to keep this a secret.
Oh, I get it. Like, we can't reveal anything before the party. It needs to be a surprise.
Exactly. It'll be so fun to see her reaction. So you have to make sure that you do this, okay?
Hello, everyone. Today we're going to explain the idiom, spill the beans.
Spill the beans means to reveal secret information, often without intending to.
The origin of the idiom is believed to date back to ancient Greece, where people voted anonymously using beans. White beans for positive votes, and black or dark colored beans for negative votes.
Yes, and if someone accidentally or intentionally spilled the beans, the votes were exposed prematurely, revealing the results to everyone.
Here's how you might use the phrase in a modern context. I was trying to keep the party a secret, but my brother spilled the beans.
Or, I can't believe you spilled the beans about our engagement. I wanted to share the news myself.
It's important to be careful with secrets. If you give it away too soon, you might ruin the surprise.
Absolutely, Shane. So remember, don't be the one to spoil the surprise by spilling the beans.
That's all for today.
We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.